Hi, cities. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. I came across a video of a man who said that they are tired of Black people not being grateful. And I am asking, what kind of grateful do you mean? That my people should be grateful. And then went ahead to say that Black racism is getting worse. I really do not have anything to say, but this is not, I am not surprised. Why? Because I knew this was going to be a thing if this man wins and he won and it is like all over. So he went ahead and said that he can't afford to let black fatigue hold us back any longer. It is time for a shift in mindset, a shift from victimhood to empowerment. I knew it was going to happen. Like, because so far I've been saying that it looks like there is an importation of racism going on, flying around. And what do you expect? When their king is racist, what do you expect the followers to be? Absolutely the same thing. But yeah, I want you people to know that, one thing I said I will never do. You see, be in community with people that are for this person. If you are standing for this man, I cannot be in community with you. I don't care who you are. Let's get into this video.
I just want you to understand how incredibly fucked up things are right now. While Walmart, Kroger's, and other corporations are talking about making the American consumer, people that shop at these places, eat the cost of those tariffs so that they don't have to, we have this.
So I just heard about this woman in Georgia that died 9 weeks pregnant, and they've left her on life support in order to give birth to the baby and save the baby's life. And the left has lost their mind about this. Oh, they're using her as an incubator. Well, at the end of the day, that's all a fucking woman is an incubator. The man's sperm is the one with the life. So you don't give life, we do. And on top of that, all you do is incubate. But anyways.
While the President of the United States enriches himself and his family using cryptocurrency, which is basically money laundering, while he does this in full view of the American public, we have this.
Blackness fatigue is setting in. America is exhausted from dealing with the never-ending complaints and ingratitude of the black community. Black racism against whites and Asians has reached violent proportions, and with the help and funding of the Democrat Party, militant black racism is getting worse. Well, here's a wild Bill bullet of truth for America. White Americans are the least racist people in the USA, probably the whole world. We have been non-racist for the last 50 years, but today the Democrat Party is using racism as a political weapon. And white America is exhausted from dealing with blackness that has been coming against them day after day for years. White Americans who have never had a racist thought in their lives are tired of being constantly accused of racism. They're tired of being told that every problem in the black community is the fault of white people, that the massive failures of black cities and neighborhoods and families is our fault. This week, some fruitcake politician declared that blacks violently attacking Asians is caused by white people. No matter what white people do or say, they are slandered as villains by blacks who are determined to punish white Americans simply for being white.
While illegal ICE raids are snatching up people, both supposedly, undocumented immigrants and American-born citizens, illegally, at the behest of Tom Holman, Christine Nome, Stephen Miller, and the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, we have this.
You bitch-ass Democrats don't never have the right information, and when you proven wrong, you bitches just get the fuck up and go to the next motherfucking problem trying to scare somebody else some other type of way. What happened to that China shit, bitch? What happened to that fucking China shit? Huh? I thought y'all was talking about, oh, China's going, we need China cheap goods and all this other stuff. We need Mexicans, because our avocado's going to be so motherfucking high. You pussy bitches don't know shit. You just be talking out your fucking ass. I can't stand you bitches.
While the cost of medicine is being raised, grocery prices are being raised, gas prices are being raised, rich people getting richer, and the Republican Party is talking about a $4 trillion tax cut that was shot down with all the Democrats and 5 Republicans who only voted that way because they wanted more cuts to Medicaid, all to give tax breaks to the richest people in America. We have this. So, while true problems are not being solved, and hundreds of thousands of Americans are being harmed because of that lack of dealing with those problems, we have to constantly listen as Caucasian people cry, bitch, moan, and complain about some fictional idea of black fatigue. Not realizing, and this is the saddest aspect of this, not realizing that they're getting played harder than a motherfucker. It's almost as if they don't care. They are left-wing, they are right-wing. They are progressives, they are conservatives. None of you have gotten a plot of the fucking story yet. We live in a capitalistic hellscape where no one working a minimum wage job can afford rent in any part of this country. What the fuck are you talking about when you say black fatigue? You don't have any other type of fatigue with the way America is operating right the fuck now? This is idiotic. Your bitch moaning and complaining amounts to, oh, woe is fucking me. While you're talking about victim mentality, that's all I've been seeing. A bunch of crying ass white people who decided that the internet is the best place to finally show that racism you've been holding back on. Because a white woman called a black kid the N-word, and all of a sudden you've become emboldened. What the fuck is wrong with you people? While you're sitting around bitch moaning and complaining about other things, let me show you a clip from a video that I got from Second Thought, which I will be tagging in this video. Take a listen. See whether or not you get it yet.
And so society remained heavily segregated to the benefit of white Americans. But like I said, this didn't stop in the 1800s. The backlash we saw after Reconstruction, we also saw against the civil rights movement in the 60s, the women's movement in the 70s, and the gay rights movement in the 90s. When poll taxes and literacy tests were abolished, for example, backlash happened through new techniques like gerrymandering, voter ID laws, anti-progressive judge appointments, the war on drugs, and, more recently, the dismantling of things like affirmative action policies on the grounds of fairness. Meanwhile, by the way, wealthy legacy admissions are completely untouched, and it's not hard to see all this new anti-DEI stuff as another example of backlash. DEI is the new woke. Woke was the new CRT. CRT was the new BLM. BLM was the new politically correct. And PC was the new civil rights activist, and so on, and so on. In the mouths of conservatives, these words are synonyms for black, trans, gay, woman, and all those things become shorthand for bad, unqualified, entitled, lazy, or undeserving. This might sound exaggerated to some people, but we just saw an incredibly obvious example of this when that helicopter crashed into a plane in D.C. earlier this year.
That a small aircraft collided with a helicopter.
Trying to recover the wreckage from the American Airlines jet and the Army helicopter, both colliding, killing everyone on board the two different aircrafts.
We do not know what led to this crash, but we have some very strong opinions.
Trump immediately blamed DEI in the vaguest terms possible, giving conservatives a long leash to flood social media with their attempts at finding out if anyone involved was indeed DEI, meaning not a straight white guy. They assumed, without needing to say it explicitly, that if everyone involved was a straight white guy, then they couldn't possibly be unqualified.
At the end of the day, the fictional shit in your head, the fictional shit you believe is happening to you because of your white skin, will kill you. What you need to focus on, the things that truly matter, are the things that are happening to you and everyone around you. I understand this is going to fall on deaf ears, and I do not care. Some of you need to be told the truth. And the truth of the matter is this: no one dislikes you because you're white. No one is calling you a racist without due process. If you are racist, that's why you're being called as such. And while you're worried about being called racist, your life is burning up around you. I would deal with that before I deal with your fictional fuckery.
I am the brutalist.
I want you to tell me exactly how I'm supposed to look past that and continue this friendship, and I'll try it out, even though I'm positive it's impossible for me to fucking do that. I have a lot of white friends. The majority of my life, my immediate community has been predominantly white people as opposed to other races, right? And obviously a lot of white people voted for this current fucking administration. Now, the Department of Justice is trying to reverse these settlements that were reached in Minneapolis and Louisville regarding the murders, call it what the fuck it is, of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and some details behind that. But essentially all they're saying is, hey, police are fine. The federal government does not need to intervene at all with local and state level law enforcement. Everything they're doing is fine. Let them do their jobs. On top of talking about giving police officers immunity from the law. Just like the law-breaking motherfucker that's in the Oval Office right now. So again, I ask you, how do you want me to look past that and continue this friendship as you actively support an entire political administration basically saying, hey, there's no need for police reform? What happened to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor should be handled within those respective states, those respective cities, those respective local ordinance jurisdictions, whatever the fuck. Basically, let the Trump administration just come out and say it the last 4 or 5 decades. It's fine. It's just police officers doing their job. So to my white friends in the real world, I'm making this video so you don't ever get it twisted. If you look at this administration and you support that, on top of a long list of other shit you should be appalled by, don't ever get confused about some, why haven't I heard from him in a while? I should probably check in on him. So no, don't do that. That bridge is burnt. What the fuck do you mean? For as law-abiding and out of the way as I fucking am, I'm still aware of the color of my skin and the country I fucking live in. And I don't think, unless you are a black person in America, I don't think you will ever understand the fear that goes through our minds and our bodies from something as simple as getting pulled over. As we follow the rules, as we do nothing but try to be a positive force in society. And we see blue lights, and we can't help but think, is this my last day? You will never understand what that's like to be a good person and fear for your life because of the shit you've seen these peace officers do to people that look like you for no fucking reason. Yeah, the federal government would need to step in and monitor and police the fucking police at the local and state government. levels, whatever. If you ignore the history, which y'all love to do, apparently. Why is that a bad thing? Why is holding police accountable when they use excessive force, or when they're violent or inexplicably brutal? Why is that such a problem for the federal government to say, hey, that shit is done, cut it out? The Department of Justice and the Civil Rights Division don't take cases for civil rights. Isn't that fucking crazy? Isn't that fucking crazy? But then let that same administration tell it the white man is the most oppressed man in America. And the white race is under attack. That's the type of shit we're dealing with. How many of these school shooters and these mass shooters do we see make it to the jailhouse, get due process after they live stream themselves going out in public, often in broad daylight, shooting people at will? They have the time, the effort, and the energy to make sure that those definite killers don't even need a trial and shit. Like, they live streamed it themselves. You get what I'm saying? So why do they have the effort to make sure they get arrested, they get in the cop car, they get transported to the jail, they don't get hurt in the jail, they make it to... Why is that whole process laid out for them? But then when black people are killed in their homes or on the street, like fucking dogs for no reason, and we want justice in that regard, now it's, oh, let police do their jobs. You think you're going to support that? And we're going to be homies? Get the fuck out of here. I could say a lot more, but I'll end it with this. To the extremists that think there will be a race war or almost want a race war, do you have any idea how delusional you truly have to be to think that it's going to be the white supremacists versus everybody that opposes that ideology in the country, and the supremacists win? Bitch, half your race is on our side. Probably more than half. So I'd like to think. So you're now fighting us. Y'all done pissed off the Latinos. They on our side. Who the fuck y'all got? Hulk Hogan? Run that scenario through your head 50 times. Get back to me if you win even once.
If I was Trump, I'd be throwing out things like suspending habeas corpus too. Because I need major distractions so that people won't realize how bad I'm losing. That I've lost like 98% of the cases that have come up against me on my executive orders. That the things like this are happening. That I'm underwater in the polls on all my policies. That I'm losing people. That I'm having to spend $500 million on ad buys to promote things that I already am saying are popular, like the tariffs, like what a great job Doge is doing, how amazing the tax cuts are going to be in this new bill. He has to distract from that. And they also didn't expect the pushback they're getting. And you may not think there's a lot of pushback going on, but there is. That's just not in the breaking news. So the more afraid they are of us, and the more they lose, the more they're going to have to throw out things like, we're going to get rid of habeas corpus. They have to try and intimidate us because it's not working any other way. When you see people come on here and say, it's over, we've lost, there's nothing we can do, that's not true. It's not true. He's losing. So he's going to throw everything that he can at it. So when you see him saying things like that, or his people saying things like that, it is to try and get us to shut up because they are the ones that are scared. And at the end of the day, this is a well-armed country. They cannot beat us with the military. They cannot. It would take something like 100 million soldiers to come in trying to feed us, because they have to assume that we are all very well armed and out to get them. You have to think that way when you're dealing with logistics and strategies. You can't think, oh, seems like a red area, so I think we're safe here. Boom, boom, boom. You can't do that. You have to assume everybody's the enemy. They know all of this. The military knows they can't win. The White House knows they can't win. So the only thing they can do is try and shut us up and scare us into staying home and staying afraid and falling in line. Don't fall for it. If they're screaming and yelling, that's because they are scared.
America's always been fascist. You're just fucking finally feeling it and seeing it, and you're scared. But it's always been here, just to various tones, various impacts, various levels. So the question I have for the people who don't recognize that fascism has always been here and now say things like, well, fascism emerged under Donald Trump. Like, okay, sure, let's just go with that.
This is all I got from this video, and it's really been a whole lot going on, especially for these people. And this is also one of the reasons why each time they talk about reverse racism, I don't listen to them, because they don't know what they are saying. Last I checked, there ain't anything like that. And I keep asking them, what do you experience that made you think there is? Like, what exactly are you experiencing? Absolutely, you are experiencing nothing. And this brother that talked about immunity. Now, let me tell us something. This immunity of a thing was also one thing Black people talked about so much before election. Why did they talk so much about that? They talked so much on that. Why? Because they knew what was going to happen, especially to people that look like me, that do not have that skin protection. Black people can't go out doing anything. Black people can't go out fishing. Nothing. So it means the immunity, nothing could ever. We already know what has been going on when it comes to Black people, like how Pe0ple, it's like very common, especially the cops and all that. So now that they have the immunity, so what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Like he said, I am not forgiving anybody that voted for this man. And I cannot be in communal with you. Keep going. Keep going. It's that simple. It's that easy. Each day we wake up, Black people wake up to different story. Like, it looks like they don't really have a lot to do, only to talk about people that look like me. What this, what that, what that. Black fatigue. What do you mean by black fatigue? What do you know about black fatigue? See his mouth, black fatigue. What do you know? Do you know it's a thing? What Black people go through on your own hands. These people, I don't know how, I am not going to say they are lucky, but I really wish they can see a day in Black shoes. Let's see how burned they will be. But no, they are all for Black. Some of them are all for Black people. Not until you tell them, would you change your skin color too? And then you see them just for a minute to see what happens. See them keep quiet. It's kind of crazy, that every day they wake up, they have something to say about people that look like me when they do not know people that look like me. How do you talk about people you don't know? Because last I checked, people don't know anything about Black people, unfortunately. But Black people know a whole lot about you. Yeah. I am going to draw the curtain here. I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.